All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Whew, goodness. What's goody gang? Welcome back to Divine Disruption. I'm going to protect the space from all evil eyes, spies, spell working, ill will, provide clear and concise messages for healing, growth, and ascension. Okay. Right now we are gonna get into what I've been waiting for this moment. I ain't gonna lie. I've been waiting for this moment. Um, we're gonna get into the real deal about what's happening currently, right? I kind of already made a video about this earlier. I streamed, well, is it? Yeah, it's after midnight. So never mind. I've been losing track of time, but that's because it's not important. It doesn't matter. Okay, so remember when I was talking about a blackout? I was talking about how everything was going to black out. And I was thinking that it was a blackout, like the power going out. Granted, I still feel I need to look and see though, because I don't know for sure, but I still feel like that either has already happened to several people or that is still on the roster. Okay, it's still on the agenda. Wow, so this shit haven't been charging this whole time. Is that what you're saying? Because that's the only reason why it would just power off immediately like that. That's no bueno. Okay. Alrighty. Go ahead and get that on the charger. You go ahead and charge up, buddy. Cause what the but yeah, y'all listen, here's the thing. I'm starting to see that as much as we're talking about change is already here. Change is already here. I streamed, like I said earlier, the Welcome to the New World Order or New World Order or whatever the hell it's called. Okay. That stream pretty much breaks down a lot of aspects of what we're experiencing right now, even the situation with the government shutdown and how it's impacting SNAP receivers. Okay, so thousands, if not millions, of people across America are going to be hungry potentially in November if we don't do something to help. Okay, so this is exactly those moments where we all supposed to collectively get together and figure out solutions how we can help one another, because I mean, it's crazy to still be stuck in a simulation when at this point we recognize that this is real life. Okay, real lives are being affected, and I'm not just talking about the government shutdown. I mean, it's been like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been like this, y'all. So now more than ever, especially now, because if you hit people where it really hurts, you take away their basic needs. Well, you get upheaval. You get chaos. I already have been blocking people, okay, because I gotta block them. I already been blocking people on my TikTok for joking about looting and how they plan on stealing and whatnot. Because listen, you ain't gonna make me no accomplice. Now listen, I have no opinions one way or the other about the situation. I just know I ain't gonna be a part of that. Okay, I ain't gonna be a part of that. You ain't gonna get me. There are other ways that we can do this, and it doesn't have to result to stealing, unless we're stealing from the people who stole from us. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not funny. See, I'm not supposed to be joining in the reindeer games. Granted, this is stolen land, so there's that. But all jokes aside, though, y'all, we're talking about families, kids, okay, that are going to be hungry if we don't figure out how to get it together. That don't make no sense. If there's millions of people on the planet, why can we not take it back to Black Wall Street? Why can't we not come together as business owners, as organizations who have resources? Why can't we not come together and figure out a way out of this mayhem? I think we can, but it's up to us to actually be able to recognize that all the ideas that we have about, well, how are we going to make things right? These are not sustainable ideas. These are not actual, uh, ideas that can help us to flourish and help us to thrive. These are ideas that are just going to get us in deeper doo doo. Okay. Because what are they going to start doing? They're going to start locking your ass up. Okay. They're going to start killing you because they caught you at the scene of a crime. Right. So, well, you was resisting arrest or whatever reasons they can come up with. Because at this point, they don't need any reasons. They don't need any excuses. All they got to do is just create one. You look guilty because you're black. So we about to make something up. It's not funny at all. I'm not laughing, even though I might chuckle a little. It's from disgust, actually. I gotta laugh to keep from yelling. So right now, I'm gonna get into the cards, but I'm only getting into the cards because we're gonna look at collective energy, but we're not going to be doing any love or anything like that. We're going to look at collective energy because I do feel like people are looking for solutions. People are trying to find individuals who actually have some valid shit to say, right? Here's what we can do, here's how we can organize, here's what we'll be meeting up, etc., etc. Because when people are hungry, that's just nothing to play with. Remember, for those of you who grew up in the 90s and the 80s, remember when they had those commercials all across the uh, TV, constantly broadcasting on the TV about the kids hungry in Africa? And they had them flies and stuff flying around. Remember, there was like a phenomenon with that. Low key, what's happening is the oppressors are trying to put us back into this state of fear, this state of lack, where we feel like all we can do is rely on the oppressors. And that just don't make no fucking sense. Like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it don't make no fucking sense. Why would we rely on the very people who created this simulation in the first place? They built this. This infrastructure is built by them, just like this land was stolen by them. And if you really, really think about it, how the fuck somebody just had me thinking, and I love somebody who makes me critical think, okay? I love when people they enforce the right to use their motherfucking brain cells, okay? But he was pretty much saying, how the hell did you get thousands of slaves on a ship crossing for months, right? Months? Okay, definitely wasn't days. Crossing a motherfucking ocean to get here to the United States and no food or water. You telling me they packed snacks and shit and had uh igloos, okay, filled with plenty of, items for everybody to eat and drink, okay? Or was they out there eating sushi and seawater? They was drinking the seawater and eating sushi. That's what they was doing. That's how they survived. Some of the shit that they told us was only put in put in our minds so that it could manipulate the way that we see ourselves. Think about it. Think about it. Some things were told to us in order to keep us in a lack mentality. If I tell you that you come from a lineage of people who pretty much were slaves their entire existence, what would you look at yourself as? Submissive, right? Needing to bow down, right? Because you don't want to end up like your ancestors, right? Hmm. But what if most of that was a lie? Because I do believe that there was slavery. I do believe that there was slavery, but I don't believe that it was just limited to white people enslaving black people. I also believe that the slave trade was just that, a slave trade. Ever been to a trading post before? Probably not, because those things have not been around for quite some time now. But when I think of the word trade, I think of how slavery could be disguised as that. Here, you do this for me, and for you, I will clothe you, I will feed you. But if you get out of line, I might beat you. If you get out of line, I might kill you. Because you can't be doing that. Mm-mm. You got to stay obedient. That's the only way that this partnership is going to work. Some people did things for survival. That's how I feel. I don't think it's a coincidence that in one of my past life readings, I was reading about slavery. It would explain a lot, even mentality wise, why I felt certain ways about, you know, the elites. Because I've always had my own special opinions, okay, that definitely differ from the masses. I don't think that we recognize that this is not actually a horrible time at all, even though it seems like it. Well, this is an opportunity for us to rebuild on our own. Okay. They started segregation. Well, we could do it again. But this time we can do it and formulate the same way that they did with Black Wall Street. You don't think it's a coincidence, or you think it's a coincidence that they also have a Wall Street in New York? A lot of the things that we think are exclusive to white people did not originate with white people at all. None of the things, to be honest, with the exception of incest and pillaging and, you know. I believe that this is an opportunity for us to rebuild because we lost. I don't want to say that we lost our power, because we didn't, but we forgot that we had power. We forgot the power that we've always possessed. And I feel like this is an opportunity for us to get back to remembering. Because when all hell breaks loose, and I'm going to speak again from the perspective that I grew up with, when all hell breaks loose and you ain't got nothing, what do you have to do? You have to figure out how to survive, right? And when you're having to figure out how to survive, that's when your creativity really kicks in. You got to get creative. You got to think outside the box. This is why I believe Black people are some of the most creative people on the planet, if not the most creative people on the planet. Because we know all about survival. It's encoded within our DNA. This is where we have to stop relying on the resources that were created by white people, because those resources come with limitations. Okay. They come with conditions. There's definitely strings attached. So we can't rely on white people anymore unless we relied on them to give us millions of dollars. Because they got it for sure. Not to say that black people don't got it too. Shit, all races at this point got it. You know how many millionaires I done met of different colors now? Different backgrounds now? Plenty. Plenty. Most of the millionaires that I've met actually are not white at all. So that's saying plenty. There is a need for us to remember, and this is exactly why I was trying to curate this channel to really welcome in this new type of content where we are weaving our ancestry into the conversation all the time, not just when I'm like, oh, the ancestors told me to tell you this. Because sometimes, it's not just a channeled message. Sometimes there's something that I've read and I want to share it, but then I feel like, well, I don't really have the space to do it. I don't really have the means to do it because this this YouTube thing is, you got to be mindful of this too. All these platforms are run 9 times out of 10 by the very people who built this simulation. And this simulation was built with the intentions of keeping us away from our true power, keeping us away from our true identity. And because of that, I think that it discourages me from saying certain things because I already know. I already know. I already know. But I have been curating something, and one of the main things that I think is important over everything that I'm about to say is figuring out a way for people to eat, okay, in November. Because this is meant to put us in a state of crisis, obviously. Um, and so I have been organizing with some people online, and the next step is today's Thursday, right? Yeah, today's bright and early Thursday morning. Today and tomorrow, I'm going to be organizing with people offline, locally, right? And everybody else should be doing this too, so that we can figure out how to put together resources and get people fed. Not for Thanksgiving, because at this point now we should recognize that fuck all these raggedy ass holidays because they too were invented by white people. This is not an attack on white people. It's just truth and clarity at its finest. There's no way for me to sugarcoat it. And as much as I want to refrain from saying certain things, I've always felt like that, right? I want to refrain from saying certain things because I don't want to offend people, or when I say I don't want to offend people, it's more of not wanting to offend the people that ain't part of what I'm talking about. But then I recognize how if certain white people who ain't part of what I'm talking about get offended, well, then that's your guilty conscience kicking in. Because I ain't say all white people. Obviously, I'm only talking about the ones that are responsible for everything that we see today. Granted, I do still feel like white people have a responsibility to take accountability, not necessarily and say, oh, I'm guilty because my ancestors are guilty, but take accountability by saying, yes, I recognize that my ancestors did X, Y, and Z, and I recognize how it is deeply woven within me too, because that is the lineage that I derive from, and I want to do something about it. There's a reason why I've refrained from saying anything at all for so long. I can remember there was times when, some crazy shit was happening. Now genocide has become so normalized, but I'm talking about when there was, out of nowhere, just mass murdering. And I'm like, damn, like, I want to say something. I want to say something. But I felt like I just couldn't. I couldn't speak. I couldn't open my mouth. I couldn't type anything. I couldn't do anything because I was too afraid to create controversy. Look at me now. Don't give two fucks. Not a red fuck or a blue fuck. So, wherever you live, whatever state you live in, whatever city you live in, whatever town you live in, I think that you should start by, if you don't already have connections like this, start by tapping the link in my bio, either here or on all the other platforms. Excuse me, the Mystical Misfit on all platforms except for Twitch. I'm a Mystical Misfit. Okay, well, on one of my Twitches could have more than one, but that's not important. A Mystical Misfit on Twitch and the Mystical Misfit on all my other platforms. I know that it's not a little mosquito that I just seen flying, because you will get killed up in here. Okay? I ain't one of them people that be catching bugs and talk about, put them in the jar. Don't kill them. Set them free. No, you gotta go. There's plenty more where you came from. The fuck? There is not a shortage of insects, okay? There's a shortage of good people, though, for sure. Anyway, tap the link in my bio and scratch the whole link with the Twitch, because that doesn't matter, because I don't think I have anything linked on there anyway, with the exception of, I think, Discord is linked on there. But tap the link in any of my platforms and there's a Google link, okay? There's something that will take you to Google Drive, and it has a list of resources that me and my compadres have been compiling. Um, this list is only for the locations that I'm familiar with, but again, if you live somewhere else, you could feel free to save this document to your Google Drive and then start compiling resources for your area, okay? Because the goal is to make sure that regardless of where we are at, we are all pitching in ideas, resources, whatever we can provide, so that people don't go hungry. So that flies and things can pop in. Anywho, yeah, this Google document has resources that I have compiled. I'm going to continue to add stuff on there. My compadre is going to continue to add stuff on there. And the goal is for you to be able to eat, okay, first and foremost, and then be able to have your other essentials, other essential needs met, okay? Because we don't have time to be worrying about all this performance and shit on the internet no more. Like, the time to be consumed by all this entertainment and bullshit is beyond us. And you know how I know? Because I just keep looking at certain people who've always had clout, right? And I'm realizing these motherfuckers ain't got no clout at all. They looking just like regular schmegular people, right? You start to look at the people who you looked up to at one point, the celebrities, right? the elites, right? And you start to look at them in real. Suddenly all my microphones are dead. These microphones both were charged, but suddenly everything is dead. That's fine. That's fine. It's not gonna stop the message from being said, okay? So anyway, the point being, y'all, these celebrities are they're not gonna save us. They not doing a motherfucking thing for us. Actually, if you really think about it, you looking at all the people that keep getting on TikTok live and Instagram live. If you be over there or YouTube or wherever, right? Twitch, right? Are you looking at these people and recognizing how they're living these seemingly elite lives, these seemingly lavish lives, while the rest of the world goes to shit? That don't make you feel some type of way? Well, first of all, let me clue you in on a little secret. They not living lavishly, y'all. Why you think that I've been... Listen, I am redefining what luxury is, because luxury truly to me is an embodiment, okay? Luxury has nothing to do with material gains, okay? It's a mindset. It's how you actually live your life offline, not when the cameras are rolling. But it don't make you feel some type of way to see other individuals have more than you and not give a fuck about you. But they give a fuck about the views, right? They give a fuck about if you keep viewing them, right? They give a fuck about if you keep gifting them, right? They keep asking you to support them, right? They want you to repost this and, sign up for this and do this. But do they actually give a fuck about you, though? When them cameras stop rolling, they get off that live stream. Do they give a fuck about you? Do they give a fuck about if you eat? Do they give a fuck about your mental health? Do they give a fuck about if you are able to do the things that you want to do? Do they try to give you any tools, any free game so that you can get yourself to a position where you living like them? Oh, okay. So to all the motherfuckers that was targeting me and feeling some type of way about me, you feel like shit now, don't you? Because you recognize how I ain't been doing nothing but trying to figure out the game so that I could beat the game and then give you the game. That's what I'm doing right now. I figured out the game. Now I'm giving you the game. The game is these motherfuckers are performing. They're performing. Remember, I could see right through people. So what I've been doing by peeping people is I've been peeping that they're just performing. A lot of them don't really live like they show that they live in. That's the crazy thing. A lot of these motherfuckers are not living lavishly at all. They live in Airbnb to Airbnb, okay? Sometimes they got to do things that they don't even want to do in order to have certain perks, right? They got to do shit that they don't want to do in order to maintain appearances, right? But it's all just role playing. They're role playing. But ultimately, you should be mad as fuck about that because they're role playing in order to keep you oppressed. Think about it. If no one subscribes to them because you in the same position that they in, so you don't need entertainment because you are the entertainment. If everyone gets into a position where they are the elites too, then where's the consumption? Who's consuming it? There gotta be somebody that's on the lower end of the food chain in order for there to be a food chain. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody gotta get eaten in order for somebody else to survive. Do you see what I'm saying? But maybe, perhaps, that dog eat dog mentality is fucking dead. Perhaps we need to start looking at things
without the rose-colored glasses, and recognize how everything that we continue to subscribe to, everything that we continue to stay silent about, it is keeping us oppressed. Ain't no such thing as making it. That's the truth, y'all. That's the truth. I've cracked the fucking code. I've cracked the code by recognizing what virality means. It means nothing. All it means is it proves to other people who went viral that, oh, you like me. You know the blueprint. Okay, cool. But you're not actually a cool person. 9 times out of 10 motherfuckers that go viral are not actual human beings anyway. They have no personality. They have nothing to add to the conversation. They have no mind of their own, right? Hey, little bitch, you gotta die. Okay, let me get my handy dandy you gotta die spray, because I don't know why the fuck you will be in my room. You need to be in other people's room. Don't be in my room. Go where the dead are, okay? Where's the spray? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I just got off of a live stream. I was watching. I just tapped in for a minute because I can't really stand to be on them streams, to be honest, because when you can see right through shit, it's just like you get disgusted real easily. And it's only so long that you can, play along. I'm not playing along, period, though, because I don't feel that there's any fucking reason for me to play along. Where the fuck your ass go? So now all of a sudden you want to be hiding, huh? Okay. Well, just know you gonna die before the night is over. The fuck? Keep flying by the ring light, but the ring light barely lit up. It's barely lit up. Let me see your ass again, though. You gonna die. Y'all, I just got off this live stream and I was watching these 2 girls. Mind you, they line their ass up. I ain't gonna say nobody's names because, as soon as I say the names, like I summon people. Let me stop saying names, okay? I was on these 2 individuals' live streams, though. Both of these individuals are reality TV stars. So just put it like that, okay? And one of them was, she basically lied. She said we're in a particular location, and then within the next 2 minutes, the other one had accidentally revealed that they was actually somewhere else, where they had the people in the comments had originally asked where they was he at in the first place. It's like they can't even keep up with their lives. They can't even keep up the facade. They don't even know how to perform anymore because they're recognizing that all the tricks, I mean, they've been figured out. And ultimately, what makes me look at this shit with a side eye is because I go to these people's pages, not just these individuals, but everybody that I've been doing research on for the last year and a half. Okay, I go to these people's pages. Well, it's technically been 2 years because I've been doing this since December of 2023. I go to these people's pages and I look to see what they're talking about. What are they doing? And 9 times out of 10, what they're doing, every single video is just performance, and it's all about branding. It's all about another brand deal, another collaboration. Buy this, get this, look at these shoe unboxing, look at this new makeup, look at this new age-defying serum. I'm so fucking sick of motherfuckers getting on the internet talking about, yeah, I am trying to fight aging. I don't want to look my age. What the fuck? Now I see why they hate me so bad. Because I ain't got to do none of that shit. I never was sitting around thinking to myself, damn, I got to dress this way or wear my hair this way because I don't want to look my age. I've just always been more of an embodiment of my inner child than anything else because I don't recognize myself as a human anyway, partaking in this fucking stupid ass simulation, okay? So I've always been more connected to the innocence of the world anyway. But ultimately, I'm recognizing how people like me are highly sought after because, we're timeless. We defy all of the stereotypes. We don't fit the mold. And I get it now. I finally get it. Oh my gosh, I finally get it. But also, this is exactly why I would rather be a disruptor. I don't want to be no fucking influencer. I've been influencing people since I was knee high to a grasshopper. And why have I been influencing people? Because I've always been this. A little awkward. A little strange, a little weirdo. Caring about things that other people didn't care about. I ain't eating nothing. So I don't know why you growling, because I ain't eating a thing. I ain't even hungry. That's what's so crazy. The last thing I ate was around 4 o'clock this afternoon, right before I took a nap. And I realized that I don't want to eat nothing right now. Because there's something about food, and I'm not trying to be funny, but there's something about food, the food specifically in America, that it really fucks with my stomach and it fucks with my psyche. I'm not saying that it fucks with my psyche in a way where I'm having delusions and stuff, but just I can tell that my brain functions different when I eat certain food. And even the fruits and vegetables now are questionable. I got some fucking, like, you know, where you can order your food and then they bring it to you. I got some food delivered the other day, right? And I don't know if y'all shop at Aldi's, but I had shopped at Aldi's at this particular delivery, and so I'm thinking like it's gonna be a little bit more wholesome, because I know Aldi's is a little bit more wholesome in my mind, at least. Child, she done brought me these big, and I'm not shading the woman who brought it. She was cool as shit. She done brought me these big ass cucumbers. I mean, these fucking cucumbers were so goddamn big. I said, where the fuck? Oh yeah, this shit ain't even real. And as soon as I start cutting, like peeling the cucumber, the cucumber, I bite into the cucumber. First of all, it's hard as fuck, and so of course, like you'd be like, oh, but it's just not fully ripe yet. But no, the cucumber, even as I was peeling it, just looked different. I'm like, what type of cucumber is this? Then I'm eating and it's just disgusting. And I'm like, oh, I don't even know, man. All this food that I done got just make me feel like, man, I want to throw all this shit out. Because I'd rather have nothing in my stomach but water. Shit. Water and cashews or something, okay? Opposed to eating any of this processed shit or this shit that has been tampered with before it arrives at our doorstep. Because think about where the food comes from before it gets into the supermarkets. Like, think about the process of getting the food to us. Think about how many people actually handle the food before it's distributed. Things like this is things that I've been thinking about for a very long time, but like also basic survival, right? Like, so, but we gotta eat. Actually, I've discovered that I can go a week without eating. I've done it. Not because I was starving, I wasn't hungry. I couldn't eat anything. I didn't want any food. Like every time I would try to eat some food, psychologically I would just feel like, no. Then as soon as I would try to eat some stuff, sometimes I would even start to feel nauseous. Like, them nausea feelings when I'm gonna be going to the supermarket and picking out some food, and I'm about to pick up a grapefruit or something, and then I all of a sudden feel nauseous. That's an indication. That's a warning. That's a hell no. That shit ain't good. It looked normal, but how do you know that it's normal? See, we've been taught to trust every single thing that we see, and we gotta stop doing that shit, because this is a simulation. Remember? So a lot of what we see is simulated. That's why it's so hard to believe in authenticity anymore. I'm trying to organize this thing where we get together every Sunday. At first, it was just the last Sunday, okay? That's literally the name of the event, the last Sunday. It was literally just for the final Sunday of the month where we get together and we eat like a potluck type of community gathering, right? Where we eat and we listen to music, boom, 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 okay? Similar to what I did when I was living in Hawaii, but more elevated, because with music and shit, live music and shit, right? And all I need for real is just people who also, you know, believe that what we need to do more than ever right now is to help one another and stop thinking about how we could just help ourselves, because self-preservation is cool and all, but what happens when you save yourself but there ain't nobody else? Like, you ever think about that shit? Like, damn, what's the point of getting to the top if I gotta be here by myself? That's no fun. That's boring. I never wanted to just be me. I never wanted it that way. That's why I fought so hard to keep the motherfuckers who didn't belong around me so that they could get to a point where they could thrive and really be elevated too, you know, even if they didn't deserve to be around me. I still wanted them to win. We got to figure out a way where we can utilize the resources available to us and also recognize that money, that ain't the problem. Money's not the problem. As much as we think that it is, it's not the problem. It is not the problem. It's not. It's not. It is just a tool. And for the oppressors, it's a weapon. How do you make people do what you want them to do? You prevent them from having what you have. You make it look like it is the ultimate goal. You make it look like achieving this is what makes you valid, is what makes you truly happy. That raggedy ass, fake ass American dream. When you give somebody a goal to live up to, what will they spend the rest of their lives doing? Living up to that fucking goal. But when you start looking at life through the lens that I'm seeing life, you will recognize that it's not about money at all. We can circulate the dollars amongst ourselves. We can. But we gotta stop being so fucking greedy, because we are still brainwashed by this fake ass American dream. Who are your allies, your supporters? Who do you turn to in times of need? Who do you got? Who do you got? Because right now what I'm seeing is people recognizing that they actually do need people. Remember, we started getting into this, it's a phenomenon of, yeah, you know what? I just need to be by myself. Yeah, I'd rather be by myself. I don't trust nobody. Shit, I was in it too. I was living in that too. I'm still low-key kind of living in that. Because I'm like, man, these people make me fucking sick. But low-key, I don't know what happened. Within 24 hours, I'm not kidding. Within 24 hours, I'm talking about from the time that I went to sleep yesterday to the time that I woke up and did that live stream. Something shifted. Something shifted. I started to recognize something more. And this is what happens when your ancestors are really tapped in with you. When you really tapped in with your ancestors. This is what happens when you really tapped in with the spiritual world. It's not about demons. As much as they try to demonize all of this, you got to recognize how they're ultimately contradicting themselves. by saying that you can't talk to dead people, but you're talking to dead people when you call on Jesus Christ. You practice rituals when you take communion. Hello? Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off with the religious bullshit. Because they're right. TikTok has been saying it consistently. What's holding us back is religion. And it is. It is. Because we're still trapped into this mentality which was implanted by the white people. Remember? That if we partake in communion with our ancestry, the dead homies, that's demonic. You talking to familiar spirits. How you know you ain't talking to a familiar spirit when you call on the Holy Spirit? What the fuck is the Holy Spirit? It's a spirit, ain't it? It's a spirit. Don't talk to me about spirituality if you still on some brainwashed bullshit. I only want to talk to people that's open-minded. But this is exactly why I've realized that the best way to get through to people is through writing. If I write an article about how spirituality and religion are technically the same damn thing, then maybe people will hear me better. Because I know sometimes people don't like my tone. Get thicker skin. Because everything that I speak is what you need to hear. And when I speak it, it's the tone of voice that is authentically mine. So stop policing the tone and just take what you need, which is the message. Which the message is we have been tricking ourselves into believing that we do not need our ancestors. When the whole time our ancestors are the fucking blueprint. They lived this shit before we lived it. They know what survival is all about. They know what we're actually up against. Now, all your ancestors ain't good ancestors. It's true. Some of y'all got ancestors that was child molesters and worse. Okay? Well, I don't think there's nothing worse than a child molester, actually. But, you know, you get my drift. So we're not talking about those people. If you want to understand how to actually make contact with your ascended ancestry, right? The ones on the good side. I got you. I will help you with that. I can show you the way. But I will not go into debates. I will not defend. I won't do any of that. I do what I do, and I will not allow anybody else to question me or to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong. Because at the end of the day, clearly it ain't. Because clearly I know something that a lot of other people don't know. And clearly I have not used it to take advantage of anybody. I have not used it to sabotage anybody. I have not used it to come up, right? I've only used it to impart more wisdom onto the collective. When I know something, you know something. Because I share it. And right now, what I know is that we need each other. We do. We need each other. We can't do what we've been doing. Somebody was on the live stream talking about, oh, I'm about to get up on here and expose my boyfriend because he on the down low. And then some messages after that, because they read the messages out loud. Some messages after that, the person on the live stream reads the girl's comment and she says, well, I don't know if he's on the down low, but he obviously on the down low because he don't ever let me get in his phone. He won't never unlock his phone for me. Yeah. We can't do none of that no more. The time to do all that bullshit as, I'm going to expose you. That ship is sailed. That's over and done with. The time to try to get clout off of another motherfucker, that ship is sailed. You know why? Because clout don't get you nothing no more. Y'all seeking validation on the internet, not realizing that you ain't gonna get far. You ain't gonna get far. You ain't gonna get nowhere, actually. There's no purpose in doing all of this. Let me expose people on the internet, because at the end of the day, you don't get a fucking prize. You get 6 seconds of attention, and then guess what? People go back to doing whatever the fuck they was doing before you open your damn mouth. And in fact, you actually get a stain, because now more and more people are starting to recognize how the mean girl shit is old, it's played out. Getting on the internet and bullying people is played out. Being a keyboard warrior is played out. Y'all look like punks, those of you who engage in such behavior. And pointless. Because again, what do you gain? 6 seconds of attention. People paid attention, and then they had their opinions. You had your fun. Ooh, see, look, they laughing. They doing this, they doing that. And guess what? They go back to forgetting about your ass. They go back to, then they turn around and they look at you with the side eye like, actually, that was your sister? That was your cousin? That was your brother? That was your best friend? That was your boyfriend? That was your girlfriend? If you could do that to them people, you would do worse to us. Fuck you. That's how people starting to look at individuals now who think that getting on the internet and dragging people is cute. Why you think I refrain from getting on the internet and dragging the motherfuckers that I could have dragged a long time ago? That's not the solution. Will I expose motherfuckers for being horrible individuals? To protect the masses. If I know that somebody's a child molester, for instance, you think I'm just going to be quiet about that? No, I'm going to broadcast it to the whole world. Hello? There's a child molester in your midst. Be careful. Keep an eye on your children. You get it? But just senselessly getting on the internet, which is illegal now, actually. Remember, cyberbullying is illegal now. Getting on the internet to drag people is pointless, because it proves that you have no content. You have no substance. You have nothing but that. That's the only thing that you can do to try to create some relevance. And then even in that, you don't get any relevance. Because 9 times out of 10, what you do is you create attention and focus and follows for the people that you dragged. Drug. I hate drug because it sounds, I know it's past, yeah, anyway. Even grammar is starting to piss me off these days. I'm like, they created this shit too, didn't they? Things are changing drastically. The tables have already turned, to be honest. The tables have already turned. I keep looking at this damn 111 too. I keep looking at this 111 also. Intuition. You know what? This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get through November first. We gotta get through November. We're gonna get through November. We're gonna get through December. Fuck a holiday. Let's get our minds out of that. Because that's the problem now. We so brainwashed. But Christmas. But Thanksgiving. What the fuck is a Christmas? What the fuck is a Thanksgiving? Why we can't act like that and live like that all year round in the spirit of giving? That's the only reason why this is my favorite time of year. Because people actually start being compassionate. They start being empathetic. They start singing songs and, gathering together and putting up lights and stuff. I love that. I love that energy. It gives that community vibe that I always wanted to be a part of since I was a little girl. But really, ultimately, these holidays is still just another way to capitalize off of the ones at the bottom of the food chain. You got to start using critical thinking skills. Don't just listen to what I say. Think about it for your own self. Maybe she's right. I think she's right after all. Maybe she was on to something. Well, welcome to the club. Good to have you here finally. I think that once we get through October, or November and December, because those are probably going to be the roughest periods. And again, I remember I spoke about the whole power outage thing, and then I said, well, damn, did they have the power outage? Yeah, they had an outage, but it wasn't a power outage. I don't know if it was a power outage actually. They've had multiple outages because even they had that thing in Nevada where everything was shut down. Okay, but they had an outage with, was it thousands or millions of people who didn't get packages? Millions of people was offline. It was something going on with the internet, and specifically with Amazon's network. Right, people didn't get their packages. Everybody was in a frenzy. Oh my God, where is my package? But it just further proves my point. Like, what the fuck has happened to us to the point where we are so attached to the physical world, in a sense that, like, we need these things. We need these things. But we don't really know what it's like to actually survive. And I think that that's why we're experiencing what we're experiencing right now, because it's not to say that, oh, we need to suffer in order to learn how to survive, but low key we do. Like, low key we needed that COVID shit to happen so that we could get further and further away from relying on the government. We need this shit right here to happen so we could get further and further away from relying on the government. That's why I'm happy the government shut down. Fuck them motherfuckers. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck who listening. I know they love to listen to my motherfucking, to everything that I say. Let them listen. Fuck you, bitch. We don't need y'all. We don't need the fucking government. We need each other. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, this is why I told somebody one time, I said, you can say this, that, and the third, say whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, you at the part of the food chain where you get to write the rules, you get to control the rules, which means that you automatically have access to more than what I have access to. So at the end of the day, you're going to sleep comfortably at night anyway. You don't give a fuck about me. You don't give a fuck about nobody that's asking for help. Nah. That's why these nonprofit organizations is getting exposed too. Yeah, to all the criminals and shit. To all the lowlifes, to all the motherfuckers that thought, oh my gosh, she can see right through me, so she's about to tell on me. No, I'm not here to tell on y'all. Keep committing crimes if you want to. I'm here to tell on the big people. The people at the top of the food chain. I'm here to disrupt their motherfucking schemes, okay? Don't worry, I'm not coming for you, Bookie. Keep doing what you gotta do. Except for you organized criminals who profit off of people. Innocent people. Children. You know who I'm talking about. I don't gotta say your names. You know who I'm talking about. You sick motherfuckers. Sex industry has been... Ooh, let me not get into that, actually. Let me not get into that. Let's get back to the food aspect. Click on the Google Doc first and foremost. Get the resources that you need if you need resources. I'm working on putting together a last Sunday event for us so that we can have some, I'll just say have a way, okay, out of maybe other ways that are going to be created as well to eat, okay? Because I'm just one person, so I don't expect for me to be one person organizing with a few other people and be able to feed millions of people. I feel like, other people are going to have to start their own initiatives as well. But the point being is, I got something. If you need something, I can help you with that. If you need some food for this November, I'm not talking about Thanksgiving, I'm talking about just eating in general, right? Fuck a holiday. Do you need to eat? Okay, great. I got you. There's other people that have been organizing as well, and I've been also adding their links to the Discord. I'm working on getting people over to the Discord because I know I invited everybody, and at first I was really just advertising the prosperity portal on Discord, but right now I'm heavily advertising House of Wolves Discord because that's where all of the resources and things like that for the community are being placed. Okay, so I really need y'all to tap in if you need resources, and don't overlook don't overlook this aspect, because I know I say a lot in one live stream, but hello, I got a lot to say. It's better than filling your head with bullshit, right? Exactly. Anywho, let's get into the cards. Collective energy right now is you know, there. So we got the Queen of Cups here, okay? Uh there feels like a need to be nurtured right now, a need to be taken care of right now. And when I say that, I'm not saying, hmm, people don't need to be coddled, okay? But those who are in need, those who are disadvantaged, need to be helped, okay? They need assistance. They need to be pointed in the right direction if we not the ones that can assist them. Point them in the direction of the assistance. This is another reason why I've been compiling resources for the past year. Not just food resources, but housing resources, essential resources, etc., etc., etc. Okay? I'm gonna be doing different drives. I'll be popping up in different places. And of course, I won't tell you beforehand when I pop up places because of safety, right? Because people be trying to, clock my moves and whatnot. So I will show up to particular organizations and organize with them pop-ups so that you guys can get the essential resources. Specifically, I'm talking about the unhoused, yes, but also those who are housed are also in need. And so figuring out a way to make contact with those people who are in need is the next order of business for this next week ahead, because I can only do but so much in one day, and I can only do but so much in 1 week. Okay. I'm not gonna overwork myself or drive myself crazy because I still gotta, I still gotta preserve. But I'm doing everything that I possibly can to figure out ways to organize with organizations that are actually doing what they're saying. Okay, not just shoveling in money and then pocketing it. Okay, you notice that there's more of that is coming out. Organizations being exposed for mishandling government funds. We'll say it like that. Put it pretty. Mishandling. But ultimately they just been stealing. Stealing from the poor people. Stealing from the disadvantaged people. I'll continue to do my part. If you're trying to join forces with me because you know that this ain't a fight that we're supposed to be trying to fight by ourselves, again, links in bio. CoachOmi.com is actually gonna. It's not that I'm not gonna put that. Listen, you'll be able to access that from my app. Okay, my app is linked in. No, my app is not linked. Okay, I'll update my links. Okay, I'll update my links so you can get access to my app. All right. Um, energetically right now, collectively right now, there's a need for us to take care of one another. There's a need for compassion. There's a need for empathy. I know we've been through so much shit. So it's like, how do we figure out how to be compassionate? Shit, the same way I am. The same way I am. That's not something that was stolen from me regardless of how much I've been through. I'm still compassionate. I'm still compassionate. I still got compassion. I got big boundaries though too. I don't fucking play, okay? There's also something in regards to travel, okay? And when I say this, I'm not saying this in like a luxury way. Okay, let's all get on a plane and let's travel.
I feel like there is something with migration happening. Migration because of climate change is real big right now. Okay, so people are migrating to particular parts of the world, not just the United States. I've been seeing more and more black expats, okay, people leaving the America to be a part of something else, okay? Because the America, remember, is just a business. That's why I call it the America, okay? It's just a business. And people are recognizing that there are opportunities to expand, and it's not only limited to America. There is something with travel in regards to a necessity though, and I'm not sure what this is too much. So for some reason Seattle is coming up. I just seen somebody. This I don't know if this is this. It has to be in alignment though. But somebody was responding to a comment that I had comment. I had commented on the post, and they responded to a comment that I made, and she had said, "Well, I'm in Seattle. There ain't enough black people here." I said, "There's some black people in Seattle. I know there's a few of us." May not be a large amount, but we got some black people in Seattle. There's some black people out there for sure. Now, I don't know. I ain't been out there in a long time, but when I was there, it was some black people. Creative as fuck, too. Hella creative. But something with Seattle, I'm not sure if, I don't know. I would have to look into this. I would have to look into this. I'm hearing Puget Sound. I don't even know nothing about that place. that's that's how I know I'm definitely channeling right now. But anywho, something about the mountains is very significant. I'm not sure if this is something to do with like a cool down, so people needing to go where it's typically colder, but it's not as cold as it would typically be, because it gets extremely hot. Okay, I just heard scorching. So I don't know. There's something with climate change and needing to um, migrate because of the climate. Oh, okay. I'm okay. So maybe okay. It's making sense. Climate change. Well, when we're thinking about harvest, right? When we're thinking about growing food, certain climates cannot produce healthy crops, right? So maybe the migration aspect is in regards to the food. It has to be because that's our basic survival, right? That in I was gonna say that in medicine, but then again, if we're eating well, then there's less sickness. You see what I'm saying? So really it does go back to food. Wow, this is actually pretty fucking radical. This is real revolutionary if you really, really, really tapped in the way I am. If you're really thinking about it from the perspective that I'm thinking about it. Because having a food crisis right now, especially in a time where manufactured food has become a phenomenon. This is so huge, actually, because I believe this massive shift, this turning of the tables, is it's kind of inevitable. And I don't know why. I hear literally, I hear people chanting. Crazy enough, I'm picking up on the indigenous folks. I'm picking up on the drums, the tribes. And I know drums are not exclusive to the Native Americans, which I don't think they want to be called Native Americans. So we just gonna go back to calling them indigenous. Um, I don't think I know that drums are not exclusive because obviously in African culture, drumming is, you know, it's a part of the infrastructure. But I'm hearing native drums right now. Uh, I'm hearing chanting. I'm hearing this, and it's crazy because it feels like a reclaiming that's happening. It feels like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting actually kind of, I'm feeling, oh man, I'm getting apprehensive, but in a good way. Like I'm getting excited. Like, oh man, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. So we have to figure out a way to eat well in this crisis, in this time of crisis, right? And what does eating well mean? Shit, going back to the basics. So all you cheeseburger head, quarter pound head ass people, you're gonna have to get about that. You're gonna have to break out of that. Because a lot of y'all are brainwashed by the food anyway. You don't even realize that. The food is what's brainwashing you. It is what has got a hold on you psychologically, making you feel like, no, I can't eat anything but a burger. I don't know how y'all could eat vegetables. Child, vegetables is a natural part of our habitat. The fuck? Vegetation is what keeps us alive. Yet, you don't want to eat vegetables? You don't want to drink water? That's why your pee be so damn strong. Your pee be smelling like ammonia because you don't like water, and that's crazy. But you have no problem filling yourself up with soda and shit. Well, what happens when you can't do that anymore because there's a food crisis? Well, you got to go back to the basics. That's what I feel like is happening. We have no choice but to go back to the basics because at the end of the day, we've become greedy. We've become spoiled to where we feel like we're entitled to certain things. And then when we don't get them, guess what we do? Well, guess what y'all do? Kill. You killing because you didn't get something that you wanted. You killing over shoes, killing over this. She took the last bread and how dare you do that? I gotta kill you. What the fuck? Y'all losing your minds. And it's the food that's doing it. I kid you not, it's the food. Because I noticed when I basically needed to wean myself off of Keppra, okay? I said, this motherfucking Keppra ain't doing nothing for me. For those of you who don't know, Keppra is an anti-seizure medication, okay? Keppra was, first it was 1 time a day, and then my seizures got so bad to the point where they hiked up my dosage to 3 times a day. They said, we want you to take this 3 times a day. So instead of me having 2 seizures a day, or maybe even 3 seizures a day, I was having up to 6 seizures a day. I mean, horrible seizures because of the fucking medication. But as soon as I started weaning myself off of the medication, it was almost as if I opened up I opened up my mind, okay? And opening up my mind made me realize that it wasn't just the Keppra that was affecting my seizures. It was the food that was affecting my seizures too, because once I got off the Keppra and then let's say I would eat I'm just eating plant-based here, eating a sushi bowl there, what they call them things, whatever them little sushi bowls is, right? And then one day I happened to be eating something that was like outside of that range, right? And boom, a seizure. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Eating something else crazy, boom, a seizure. So that recognizing those patterns was what clued me into is what I'm eating that's causing the seizures as well, not just the medication. So the medication and the food are the 2 causes of the disease, okay? Disease or disabilities or whatever people are experiencing, okay? So how do we get away from diseases? How do we heal diseases? Well, get the fuck away from the medications and get the fuck away from the foods that are clearly not good for our bodies. As much as people say, I be eating this type of food all the time and I don't feel no problems. You don't feel no problems because you have become conditioned to the enjoyment of the food rather than recognizing what's actually happening because you're not even connected to your senses anymore. You're not even connected to your body anymore. You're not rooted anymore. But when you root yourself, when you unsubscribe from all of the things that are merely distractions and ultimately destroying you, and you wipe the slate clean, you start to recognize how things actually do impact you. Certain foods do impact you. Fat, it do impact you.
But you can only recognize this stuff when you choose to unsubscribe from all the things that you feel are a necessity. I have to have these things. Do you really? Or is this just all you know? Well, now we're being forced to know something different. And that's why we're experiencing not just a food crisis, but a housing crisis, a safety crisis. Things are changing. They are. And we are going to be the ones that change them. What's this? Six of Swords. You know, it's so funny because as I'm holding the Six of Swords in my hands, it's like the only thing I get, I'm not trying to stutter, but like the only thing that I get is Christopher Columbus. Cause he riding on a ship. He's standing up on this ship, riding on this ship with these swords, right? Look like he's surfing. Look like he's surfing. Surfboard. But like it came out in reverse. And so it's like I look at this card as like everything that was stolen is being reclaimed. Tradition that was lost, history that was erased, it's all being reclaimed, it's all being restored. Art, the entire infrastructure of Black culture originating in Africa, absolutely. It's being restored, y'all. I don't know why this feels so victorious, even though I know so many people are scared. They're in fear right now. They're panicking right now. I get it, but like also, don't do that. Don't panic. You're only panicking because what you're used to is no longer available to you. But we live in a limitless world. Now it's time for us to take the pen and start writing a new narrative. What's this? What's this? That's the Seven of Cups. Okay. Last but not least, and then I'm gonna close it out because I know I've been so many places. I've talked about so many different things. I know. There's something about temptation. Okay. Feeling tempted. I just heard tempted to touch. Tempted to touch. I don't know. I heard it. There's something about temptation though, and it feels like a flesh thing, you know, your flesh feeling tempted. You gotta purge though. Like you feel tempted for certain things because you've been brainwashed to believe that, like, in order for us to truly thrive, we have to obtain these things. We have to partake in certain things, but it's not true. It's not true. And I know people are going to be upset. They're going to be mad as hell, some people. But for people that can't get with the program, just recognize that you ain't bigger than the program. And if you don't want to help us continue to cultivate this new world, well, then you can get the fuck on. Because we're not going to be able to live like we've been living no more. We can't. It's time for us to build something where everybody can thrive. So whatever your flesh feels most attracted to, for some of you, it's sex. For some of you, it's drugs. For some of you, it's food. For some of you, it's materialism. For some of you, it's attention. Whatever it is, though, you got to starve your flesh. But go on a retreat, damn it. Shit, if you can't go on a retreat, go sit somewhere, okay, in a park or wherever, and just be still, be silent. Listen to your spirit, your inner voice. Tune out everything else. Unplug. Turn off your phone, okay? Put that shit on D&D and really tap in. It is a battle. I didn't get here without some effort, without some diligence, without some rock bottom moments that almost took me the fuck out. But I'm here. I'm no longer tempted by the things that I used to be tempted by. You can do it too. Because this temptation feels very detrimental to some of y'all. Some of y'all within the collective are being destroyed by your temptations, by needing to constantly feed your temptations. You're being destroyed by it because you're not in control. I'm feeling that there are people who have been controlled by their temptations for quite some time who really want to get in control. They want to be in control for once. I can help you with that. But one thing at a time. One thing at a time. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. And I think I'm gonna be on TikTok live this week coming up. I think I'm gonna use TikTok as a platform for some time just to see what the vibe is like over there. Even though I really don't like the vibe, I know what the vibe is like. I didn't try it many times. Trust me. Every time I get on live, I'm like, nah, I don't like it over here. Too much pretending. But anywho, I'm gonna use TikTok next week, and also I'm gonna put up some collective messages over on the Patreon, the Prosperity Portal on Patreon. And then yeah, we'll see how this thing goes. Okay. Actually, you know what? For the Google links and all that stuff, I'll make sure that I put those on the Patreon as well, so everything will be in one hub, just in case people are like, "Why I didn't see it? I didn't realize where it was. I didn't hear you say that," or you click off the message too fast or whatever. Okay, I'll put it over on Discord as well. Or excuse me. Yeah, I'll put it on Discord and I'll put it on Patreon. Okay, but anywho, I'm about this piece. Little piece of hair grease.